So what happened at this week's Board of Education meeting? I had to miss it because I had to work. I missed it, and unfortunately, there was this crazy coincidence of all coincidences where the video that was supposed to be posted 24 hours after the board meeting occurs, that's their policy that they wrote into their little commie handbook in Voorhees Township. I'm talking about Monica Watson, president of the board. I'm talking about Julie Ketover, vice president of the board. These people are hijacking your kids' education. Okay, they have a 50% proficiency rating in maths, science, and English, and that's based on the New Jersey standardized assessments that just came out. They couldn't even get the guy to come and give the presentation, okay, about that information. They had to get the superintendent to do it. They said he was sick. I would guess that he probably just didn't want to say what they wanted to say. But the vice president, Julie Ketover, based on my information and knowledge that I was given, stood up and said to the board members, listen, you're no longer allowed to ask questions during a board meeting in the public. You need to ask those questions in private and give us time to get you the answers from the administration. That is 100% a First Amendment violation. I would encourage any other board member that's sitting on that board to file a tort claim in federal court for First Amendment civil rights violations and potentially discrimination charges against the board vice president, the president, the solicitor who is a lawyer. They have no business being able to say that in a public meeting. And then one of the other members, while this was going on, she actually wrote up a little speech of her own to write where she said that she thinks it's totally wrong. It's totally against the First Amendment. These things are supposed to be occurring in public with public deliberation, public information, and insight into what's going on in the public schools. And here the vice president of this school board is sitting there telling the board members and scolding them that they shouldn't be able to get up and ask questions. And then the president of the board chimes in and starts yelling at these other board members for saying something about it. Because no, they're not going to be silenced. At least two of them aren't. I know that. The rest of them, I would call them all rubber stampers. And quite frankly, I think they're a pack of losers. And you got a couple of attorneys on that board. Okay, the president, the vice president included. They should lose their law license. They shouldn't even be allowed to practice law because they don't even understand how laws work. Maybe they need to read the pocket constitution and see how things go. Okay, because they totally discredit the educational system. And my advice to you parents is to pull your kids. That's right. Pull your kids. Here's what one woman has to say about what will happen when you pull your kids. Take a quick listen.
As a former public school teacher, I feel that it is my duty to warn you against these 5 things that might happen if you start homeschooling your child. Number 1, you are going to get an insane amount of time back with your kid. So if you like your kid, please don't start homeschooling. Number 2, your mornings are no longer going to be rushed. There's going to be no more need for you to yell at your kids to get out the door so they don't miss the bus. Number 3, you're going to be able to personalize your child's education, which means that they're no longer just going to feel like a number inside of a classroom. And I personally just don't think that kind of attention is good for a child. Number 4, you're no longer going to have to worry about things like bullying or peer pressure or peer influences that you might not be fond of. So if you're worried about how on earth your child will possibly build character, I definitely wouldn't recommend homeschooling. Finally, number 5, you're going to have a lot more time to be doing the things that you love with your family, following your interests and passions, and that's just really not